Hello everybody, just another free game you can find on Steam. It's called Path of Exile, Siege of Atlas. Well, Siege of Atlas is actually just the expansion. I've actually completed this game multiple times. If you enjoy grinding type dungeon crawlers, then I'm sure you'll enjoy this. There's just one snag though, is as soon as you actually complete the game, then it gets quite boring since you do the same thing over and over. They've actually created a system where you can go, how can I say, crawl some maps and still harvest items and so forth, but there's no more solid storyline attached to it all. So let's just jump straight into it so I can give you a taste of the gameplay. Like I say, this is an old account with quite a strong character on it. So there is actually quite a big skill tree and a bunch of different types of characters that you can have, from mages to warriors to guardians, which this one is sitting at. So I'm gonna switch off the sound a little bit. Right, so I've got a bunch of skill points which I can actually select, and this is the skill tree. As you guys can see, it is quite crazy big. So depending on what class you select, it will basically put you in a different area of the skill tree, since you have to connect your skills and points to actually reach a certain skill. Now, as you can see, there's quite a lot of extra points on this character since I last played. But for instance, it's all passive skills, mainly most of them. There is an item called jewels that you can add into certain slots, which can be customized and crafted the way you please. So, like I said, I do have quite a strong character. Getting a 6-linked vest, where you can put in different, how can I say, skills and abilities, because that's the way your skills and abilities work in this game, is you have to actually link them. For instance, Molten Strike is an ability that also gains level on its own. This one is sitting at level 18 and the quality of it is 20%. So to improve the Molten Strike ability, I actually added a support function to it and a few other support functions, which increases the attack speed and also the elemental damage of it, and Fortify, which gives you a bunch of melee damage and so forth as well. Furthermore, your character's stats, which you can actually look at to see how much damage per second you're going to do, what is your chance to hit actually, and your elemental damage and so forth. Also your defense, which includes your, see, this character's cold resistance is way down, so that is probably because I'm at the last part of the game, because every section that you go through, your resistances get dropped by a certain amount. So you essentially have to add more items for resistances or so forth. So you also get a block chance and so forth as well. Let me just see, evasion rating, and just want to see where the miscellaneous. Alright, chance to block attacks is 60% currently, which is quite high. And yeah, that is basically it. So just the other thing is now the game works in weird sections. So as you can see, there's part 1 and part 2, where you begin with part 1 going through basically the same map and completing different quests. Then you go to part 2, which will redo the maps to a manner and get to the stronger area. So in the end, actually, when you get to Act 10, your resistances, like your fire and so forth, on your character will, and your cold resistance and chaos resistance will drop a lot, making it a lot more difficult to actually fight in the area. So, right, so just to get to it, the skill tree, you can get refund points, which costs a certain currency in the game, which is also unique about Path of Exile. Items get purchased with your currency orbs. Now, just to show you, this page on the left side is basically complete currency that you harvest from monsters, but they also serve a certain function to your gear. So for instance, the Orb of Transmutation upgrades a normal item to a magic item. So that a magic item would be one that is not colored brown like these, or gold, whatever you want to see that as, but a blue one, and the normal item would be white. So then also you get your augments, which adds a new random property to an item. As you can see, here's the currency to grant a skill or refund points. Every time I use one of those, I get a refund point in my skill tree. And also the dice basically to reforge the number of sockets on an item. Harvesting a lot of currency and buying a 6-linked from other players is the best step to actually do. Maybe mainly your helmet, your weapon, your boots, and everything else you can craft on your own, except your vest is very difficult. You need a lot of luck for that. And then your gem cutter's prism, which improves your gems, which is your skills, and so forth. Right. And as you can see, there's some more currency here on the left side. Those from the blue to the chaos orbs, which is quite a rare drop. And there is an Exalt orb after that, which is even more rare. So they've got a whole bunch of different places that you can go and fight maps even after you completed the game. It is the rogue markers, which takes you to an area where you can spawn maps and complete quests, basically, to get some good loot. So basically, after the game story mode has been completed, you just hunt after the loot and so forth. Alright, and then obviously your stash, if you want more slots, you're gonna have to pay for that. Furthermore, it has been quite some time since I played, but as you can see, here's map items, and also these brownish ones at the bottom, which allows you to open certain maps to go and actually harvest items and so forth. So what I am going to do is you also have a hideout which you can go to. You also have a hideout, so your hideout is actually
Kirak's my name.
something new.
How's the trail?
Right, here's something new. So it gives you Atlas missions. Into the Atlas, take a map. Right, so
we've a vital mission for you, God.
I guess let's do that.
We've a vital. The job never ends.
And the Atlas is this side, because you can build your hideout the way you want. So, well, not the, how can I say, the area physically, but the items where you put that. So alright, so I'm just gonna activate a map so I can just show you that. So any of these portals, basically what it does is you're only allowed to enter this map 6 times. Every time you click on a portal, you're going to enter that portal and it's going to close behind you, and you have to actually teleport yourself out of the portal scroll, which is in my item slots currently. I'm going to upgrade that gem. Right, so let's just get to a map. It is a level 1, so it's going to be quite easy for this character. You can be a mage and a warrior, but having a character that blocks a lot, like this one, and shields himself is something that I found is a lot better. So this is basically all you'll go through is just run through and kill monsters. Like you can say, the Molten Strike has got some form of splash damage. And the character is quite invincible against most monsters, since he blocks a lot and he's got a shield that regenerates very quickly and so forth. I think while I fight, the block chance is maxed at 60, but there is some spell block that he also has. So what I just want to do is some things that I just want to switch on here. So life. Alright, so you don't need to see yours, but I believe there's also one that shows you all the items. Or you just press tab for that, so there is a button to see this. Oh, okay, it's Alt. So then you can see the drops that the monsters left, but you can always show that if you want to. Yeah, it's got quite some mana problems. Right, so the mission for this map is to just find the map boss somewhere, which could be anywhere, and just kill it. So you can see your map on the top right corner, where you've been and where you need to go. So then you just run through, and here's a bunch of blue monsters. Right, there's nothing. I doubt I'm gonna get any special drops in this map. Right, so here you can actually see your items a bit better. But there's a bunch of passive skills, for instance, that this character has, as well as he counter strikes whenever he blocks, and when something attacks him, a certain percentage. So just actually standing around something, as you can see, I don't need to click or anything, it'll just continue to kill them. Right, so tab gives you the map overlay. That's a little bit easier to just go and dungeon crawl. I believe that's something new, where they actually show you the scrolls times 2, or the items if they drop more than one. So Oh yes, it's the Tempest Shield that actually uses up the mana. It takes 27% of your mana reserve. Since I'm already reserving a lot of mana for the Herald of Ice, the Arctic Armor and the Vitality, which heals you a lot. So right, but it doesn't really matter, I can switch it on. Character's strong enough to...
You there, local. Come, better yokel like yourself with an
Alright, so this is interesting. There's a random NPC amongst all of us.
in a gambling mood. I bet a yokel like yourself. During the failed rebellion, I am honor bound to discuss.
Right, this is something new. You can give some artifacts to this woman. I'm gonna say gamble for some items. Right, so okay, there's this new type of currency that you actually need, which is interesting.
I bet a yokel like yourself. Until next time.
So any 6-link vest is quite worth a lot if you go and sell it at a merchant. So it's just a note, if you find even one that is white, not a magic item, it is worth a lot. And gold ones. Gold ones will also give you a lot of currency. There's a rule as well, also one that's got 3 different colors linked to one another, gives you a color orb. I don't know what the correct name is, we'll see after this. And there's a map item, so that would be something worth picking up. Scrolls, which is direct currency, it's your most basic currency, which you can actually sell from your most basic all the way up to get the better ones. It's sort of a hierarchy thing. Oh, that's something terrible. That actually made me bleed, so that's when you have to eat potions to your potions also fill by itself as you kill monsters. So it's a corrupt blood mod that those monsters got, which makes you lose health rapidly. But anyway, we got through that without dying. So it's the only time I actually had to use a potion. Alright, the Jeweler's Orbs, and there's another Chromatic Orb, that's the name for it. I've got no idea what killed my character there, to be honest. That is something interesting. I guess what we are gonna do is not put on W. Just go back into this map. So you just respawn when you died, but you do lose one of those portals to actually go back, sell some items if your stash gets full or whatever the case is. Heralds of Obelisks. But, okay, so that is interesting. Anyway, still have not found the boss, but let's just go see if we can get to the place where I died, somewhere around here. I believe it's lightning damage. Lightning resistance is 54%. Alright, that's why you have to actually get your resistances as high as possible, then don't need to be bothered about stuff like that. It's what you battle with the whole game through, is to get a nice balance between it all. So this character does need a little bit of work in some areas. Right, I believe that's gonna be towards the boss, which is gonna probably be difficult to kill as well. Sure. I just need to get out of that storm. Get the monsters killed and fill up those flasks. Right. Right, so there's a lot of triggers as well. If I get to low health, for instance, that molten armor thing triggers as well, which I can activate. Completely forgot about that. Oh, and now she transformed into something worse. Need to just dodge those. Seems like this form's a bit easier to kill. Alright, that was, for a level 1 map, surprisingly very difficult. Anyway, like I said, the character's got some points that needs to be used, and there's been quite a few updates since I last played. Atlas passive skill point. See, this is probably why I've been struggling. So, right, there's a new skill tree, which I knew nothing about. Right. Strong boxes are like treasure chests. This is very interesting. That's why. Okay, so you have to complete a lot of Atlas maps to actually get this upgraded quite nice. Right, so there's a new tree that you can get to. So what I'm going to show you now is items are unidentified, so your most basic currency is okay, let's just speak
Now
to
that
this
you've had
guy.
a glimpse of the Atlas, the job never
Alright,
ends.
so your most basic currency, which is a scroll of wisdom, actually unidentifies. If you hold shift, you can just keep using one of them. It unidentifies the maps and the items. Now, selling an unidentified item gives you a different currency than selling a identified one.
Greetings,
So I am just gonna sell all of those. As you can see, it gives me a bunch of currency, and I'm gonna accept that. Go to my stash. As you can see, there's a bunch of alright, so control and click puts it into your stash and also will sort it if need be. So I'm gonna have to put this map here, and then currencies, you can just drop that in there. So another thing I need to show you guys is there's yet another bit of a twist to the skill tree. Is it's called Ascension. Now you have to actually complete the game mode to get enough or to unlock the Ascension skill tree, which is this, and it's based on what type of character you selected. So then it allows you only a few points for additional abilities. So for instance, I went with the chance to block and attack speed. That's why the character's got such a high block chance, and so forth. But there's different styles of playing each character. For instance, the Guardian can be quite a brute force attacker as well, but he doesn't have such good resistance, then he just does a lot more damage. So then your ascension points you can spend on a different tree as well. So I also realized that fire mages are quite strong, which uses the firestorm skill. If you can get a 6 link to that and hit a lot of fire upgrades, which I can show you. For instance, where's the fire? Okay, it'll be this area. Alright, so if you can hit something like this with a lot of fire damage and that, then you just have a wide area that everything just instantly dies as you like spam cast the firestorm. So it is quite a good build as well for soloing. Right. Uh, Furthermore, there's not anything other than one thing that I can show you. It is the Rogue Harbor. So as you've got the Atlas area that you can go to Atlas maps, you've got the Rogue area where you get to actually go and steal items for currency. So I'm gonna just play one of these maps so I can show you quickly. Alright, that is, if I can remember. Okay, so it's called Heist actually. So what I am gonna do is just grab a Heist contract. Let's take a lower level one. Now map items you can also increase or make magical, if I can put it like that, with currency. So I just don't believe there's a stash around here. Let me just see. Yeah, there's no... Okay, there's a stash. There's a stash. Alright, so as you can see it's blue. There is either the Orb of Transmutation that makes something blue, or... I don't have any of those... Oh, I do have. Okay, so the Orb of Alchemies makes them gold, and it adds a bunch of extra stuff to the map and makes it a lot more difficult. So then you just go speak to this lady, you prepare the heist, and you choose a heist character which can help you unlock the doors or whatever the case is. So I'm going to use Karst, start the contract, which also opens a map for you, which you can I think you cannot come back from this. You have to complete the mission, otherwise you fail it. So you get one chance, and as you can see, Karst is with you. So alright. Also, you should not set off the alarm in this game mode. As you can see, there's a bunch of chests on the map, so you have to wisely choose a few of them where there is some doors that actually have better items that you can select from or actually open up. So Scribe's Racks you can open up, but for instance, as you see,
You sure you want that?
as soon as I open a chest it fills up the alert bar. Now as long as it doesn't go to the max, then you're fine. Otherwise your primary objective
Wasn't worth it.
actually gets locked down, so you cannot complete the mission. So I'm just seeing now how many of these chests there are, so I can decide which ones to open. So I'm going to leave the one there on top. And the alarm does go off as soon as you get the relic or whatever that you came for, but the best thing to do there is to just run back to where you came from through the map. So I'll show you guys that just now.
Yeah, go on. You got him.
Right, so as you can see, the loot is quite nice. There's a special chest which has an option to drop a Chaos Orb, which is one of your most expensive currencies. And alright, okay, I don't need to attack that guy. Alright, but you're gonna need to use Karst to get to that Chaos Orb chest, so we're gonna do that quickly.
That's what I'm here for.
And there's a bunch of items or characters that you actually have, monsters that you have to fight on the other end of this, and you're gonna need to use him and protect him while he unlocks it for you. Right, so lots of currency, all of alchemy. So doing heists actually gives you, and there's a 6 sockets, which is also a lot of currency worth. So I'm going to take that one and grab as many gold ones as I can. Right, so open up another one of these. Cannot really reposition it, maybe to get one more item in.
Incoming.
Right, so here's another special area which would be worth looting. Right, so that would be a better choice since the chromatic orbs is also very valuable currency.
So that's what I'm here for.
Okay, so there's
Not
two of
quick,
them.
but not hard. Good lad. You take that.
And there's something unique. Also,
I believe in traveling light.
what I am gonna do now is just get rid of something stupid like that. I can pick up that. The jewelries would be a better choice. And the belt. So I'm gonna drop that as well. And anything you pick up here counts as contraband, so you have to actually complete the quest before you can get the items. So if you die now, you lose everything in your stash.
I believe in traveling light.
So we're gonna get rid of that. Found that you get some great belts and a little bit more currency from the belts. Right, so can let that go. Pick that up. Ah, there we go. Probably gonna have to drop that for the primary item that we came here for. Right, before I continue, I believe I can actually open up one more chest. So it's worth it to just go back. And I think we can open up one more. You can also do this on your return, but right, some Vol Orbs, which gives you corrupted items, which is quite risky, but it can add an additional stat to your items as well. But it's also a rare currency. It looks similar to your
I believe in traveling light.
Chaos Orbs.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm here for.
So right, what I do believe is we're gonna need to drop that,
Got eyes on the prize.
because as soon as I click this, an alarm goes off. As you can see, the item looks unique, and what I recommend throughout all of this is just keep running. Only fight when you cannot move, because they never stop.
On it.
Right, he opened up that. Always just keep an eye out. I know there's a switch you can put on so you always see the items lying around. You don't need to hit Alt like I do. Wrong way. Definitely wrong way. I'm stuck as well. Right, Regal Orb. That's a good drop as well. Right, tell him to open up that. Right, not the way. Okay, so we successfully made it. All you need to do is get to the escape room.
Never looked more lovely.
Then they actually destroy the entrance so the monsters can't follow you. Right, so as you can see, I got quite a bunch of items there. What I'm gonna do is a special belt that's got an additional stat. You can also craft extra items or extra stats onto your items. What I have to do now is complete the quest. So let's just see. Yeah, they tell you. Okay, can be exchanged with Fatus. Okay,
Find something to sell?
so this is how you get more rogue coins, markers.
Farewell.
And that's also worth quite a penny. Right, but what I want to do now is show you one last thing. Then I believe I gave you guys a good walkthrough through this game.
Welcome.
And all of the possibilities. Okay, so it's a crappy belt, don't care about that. Also don't care about that, or that, or that, or that. Just gonna sell them. And as you can see with the 6 sockets, you get 7 of those jeweler orbs, which is quite a lot of coin. Damage used against chilled enemies. Right, keep that for now. Right, that's elemental resistance, and here's another belt that can go. Righty, so there's some vol orbs. Can stack those here. Stack those. I've got quite a lot of those. And your armor, these are to actually improve the quality of your armor, and your weapons, which is your weapons 1, which is quite a cheap currency. Some regal orbs, right, engineering. Okay, that I can move. Right, so let's just first sell this. Right. So, guys, I believe that's it. When you get both pairs of these type of cards, you can go to, I believe it's part 1. Right, part 1, act 4. I think it's act 4. Yeah. Then you go to this guy.
I see
And you can trade your divination cards for whatever item they give you there. So that's it. Till next time, guys. Cheers.